Hey, Beth.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Hey, question for you. I know obviously the appropriations budget's in the organizational session, but then I know it's under my agenda as well. Are we doing it just in the organizational,
No, well,
or does it matter? Does it?
well, no, that's just, you need to do it in the regular session too. That's
Okay.
just incorporated with the other.
Okay.
Um,
I could not recall. And then while I'm quizzing you on questions, a resident asked me if there was any sort of zoning code around the folks that have political signs up. I thought that was protected. Isn't?
It is, although we're gonna be trying to come up with something.
Okay.
Because there's just too many signs in people's yards right now. So, let me.
But the political, well, at least as it stands today, is.
Yeah. Come on. There we go.
Okay. Hey, Chief. Hi, Ian.
Hi.
So this is fun.
Hi, all.
What are we doing?
Andy. Hi, Chet.
I just need to make sure my volume works.
As until we mute you.
It's not that I'm being social. I just, want to make sure my technology works.
Think anything else?
Michelle, I always have to say you're very mysterious. You're always just your name. With the black square.
I've been in what is that? I've been in quarantine or isolation too long. I can't control my facial features anymore. So video calls aren't a good idea.
Flag. All right. You all can start whenever you'd like.
So it's Jim's show until I take over, right? Or until I'm nominated. Yeah.
Don't you forget it, buddy.
And remember, this doesn't count towards your average meeting.
I like your new chin guard, Chet. That's nice.
You like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Are we all set, Beth?
Yeah, Jim will open up the meeting and start the organizational session. And
I will call to order the January 4th, 2001 organizational meeting. We don't need to do that by roll call vote or anything, do we?
no,
First order of business is to have a nomination for chairman and vice chairman. I would nominate Andy English, who is our current vice chairman, to be the chairman.
Second?
Vote? Yes?
Yeah.
And then I would nominate Chet Cheney to be the vice chairman for the 2021 year.
I'll second.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can I nominate you to be vice chair?
Come on, it's your turn.
I know. It's a difficult year coming up, so I'd rather give it to you if you're okay with that.
Well, that sounds kind.
Andy said he's not going to miss a single meeting, so I guess it'll be a meaningless thing for me to do then. So,
Right, Andy? You're not missing a meeting.
Nope, I'm locked in.
Okay, then I nominate Jim Roper to be vice chair.
I will second.
okay.
vote.
Yes.
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Roper.
Thank you. I then would move to, unless there's any changes, to I guess approve pages 1 through 5 of the organizational session minutes that you should have before you, which runs from 01-21 to I just lost it. 047-21. So those 47 paragraphs.
Second?
Vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And now apparently we have nothing to do until 6:30.
Well, in a motion to adjourn the executive session or the organizational session, please.
I just want to confirm we had nothing to do till 6:30. Now I will move to adjourn the organizational session
Second.
meetings.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
Vote. Yes.
Yes.
This is why I shouldn't be vice chairman. It takes a lot out of you being a chairman for the whole year. I need a year
Yeah.
off. I need a
You
year off. to
need
recharge my
a year off
batteries.
to collect your thoughts.
Really?
I mean, really, Beth, Jim's, the motion to adjourn was implied in his question. He knew that was.
Sure. Well, we've got a few minutes, so.
We got another meeting set up, right, Beth?
Or are we staying on?
Yeah, I think there's another meeting at 6:30. So
Let me check with her. I'm not sure.
what's that, Mary?
Let me check with her. I'm not sure if she canceled the 6:30 meeting or not.
I'm showing a 6:30. I'm showing 3 separate meetings.
Yeah, we're gonna be using the same Zoom meeting we're on right now for the regular session. And then we'll jump into a different session for everything else.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Chief, are you on now? I can't
You're
hear you.
muted, Chief.
Can't hear you, Chief. Hey, Andy,
Yeah,
you know that email that we got about Candlewood?
yeah, I got it covered.
You got it? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I thought you would.
Yep. And we're still good for January the 9th, right? You're on mute.
Yeah, as far as I know, we're good.
Do we have a,
I think it's
do we have a time
13th.
for that?
It's the 13th, Andy,
Or the 13th, I'm sorry.
at 9 a.m.
Okay.
You talking with the county engineer's office?
We are,
Yeah.
yes.
Good. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, hey, Chat, I chatted with Trent's assistant about the group for the next phase of the school development renovations, and that's actually, they've gotten so much interest that they've put together this little form that you had to fill out, which I did. So they're picking people through that process.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, I guess that's good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll let you know if I hear back.
Okay.
Hey, Beth,
Yeah.
can I try Zooming? Can I try re-entering this meeting through a different computer?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Hey, Joe. Do you have any time tomorrow? Mr. Gamble wants to talk to you and I.
Who?
Receiver Rayall property.
About?
I don't know.
Can do 2:30.
Okay.
I mean, the story is the same one, Chet. I mean, we
know.
got nothing.
Okay. I'll find out. I'll text you.
All right.
Good time.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, Chief, I heard that. You're good.
Hey, Chief, any word on vaccinations for your folks yet?
The governor has moved us out of tier 1B completely, so there's no projected date. The next set of vaccines will go to senior citizens and teachers. Law enforcement is not considered first responders.
That's interesting.
Where'd that definition come from?
So I should, if somebody's breaking into my house, I should call Brookside?
Yeah, I reckon.
I do think the teachers should be vaccinated as well. The community spread, but that's surprising. Didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's the latest we've gotten. So I don't know. I don't know when we'll be offered the vaccine, but it doesn't look like we will be in this next round.
Everybody have a good New Year's.
Absolutely.
Crazy, hundreds and hundreds of people, big blowout.
Big party at the Elliott House.
Oh yeah, I think Richard went to bed at 10:30. How about you guys?
Pretty quiet.
Very quiet.
I have to be honest, it wasn't very different for me than any other year. I'm not a big New Year's person, so I just had an excuse to be inside by myself.
Okay, I got 6:30 taking the reins. We are going to be very on time in the year of 2021. So having said that, I'm going to call this regular session of the new year to order. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, looking for a motion to approve the special session minutes of December the 18th, 2020.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Vote.
Yes.
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 I
didn't step on you there.
I knew you wanted. All right. Second is approval of the regular session minutes of December 21st, 2020.
I'll make that
So
motion.
moved. No, second.
Vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Public comment, Brookside. Michelle, you got anything?
Oh, I'm sorry, I said no report.
Okay. Worthington Hills.
They are meeting next week, Mr. Chairman, to lay out the programming for 2021. So I'll probably have more details at our next meeting.
Okay. Anything on Henderson Heights?
No, other than a zoning matter, but that's no report.
Okay. Down to zoning, under old business, nothing new to report on the KCC. Anything on 987 Larkstone Drive?
I don't think there's going to be a need to pass the resolution this time.
Our question real quick.
Yep.
Leaves are pretty bad. We had a complaint. We haven't been able to get down there to do the leaves because of the snow on the ground. When we do get warm weather and a nice day, nice dry day, we do plan on doing the leaves there if it's still necessary.
What do you think, Beth?
I think if there's leaves there, they need to be cleaned up.
So we need to pass it?
Go ahead and do that. I'm sorry, I didn't realize about that.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move to declare the property at 987 Larkstone Drive in Perry Township a nuisance.
I'll second. Vote. Yes.
Yes.
I just did want to add that this is continuing through the process to going to sheriff's sale. The last update was that it's just in the system. It's just a matter of when it can get in front of the judge.
Okay. Any updates on 1344 Candlewood?
Yes, we've the building has been secured. The person who has power of attorney over the place reached out to our office. Their goal is to have everything cleaned up by the end of February. So I'll be sending a letter out confirming that information with the person with the power of attorney tomorrow. And but I do want to be able to give them some leeway if necessary. She's coming in from out of state to get this process started. So just in case there's any delays with her getting in and out of town. So that's that.
Okay. Any new business under zoning?
Beth, is there anything new on the lot split, or Joe?
We, you know,
Did we update them? Should we update them on that?
why don't you guys go ahead? Joe, do you want to take that or?
Are you referring to the EPCON?
Yes.
Yeah, EPCON requested a lot split through Franklin County. Franklin County came to us, asked for our approval on the basis of zoning, et cetera. We gave that approval. Beth gave that approval last week. We then followed up with them and indicated, wanted to make sure they understood that they're not detached at this point, and their actions needed to reflect that we didn't really have any authority over what is in Columbus currently.
Right. And I sent that email as well was after our discussion. So
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Road department. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to add, I contacted Tom Francis, the chairman of the BZA. There will be an upcoming variance request. Somebody wants to put a hot tub in their side yard. And then we may have an appeal to a zoning inspector's decision coming up, but I'll make sure that you're aware of that when all that paperwork comes through.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Road department.
Good evening. I don't have anything for the board tonight.
Hey, Ian, thanks for that year-end summary. That was very detailed and very appreciated.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We also appreciate the road guys coming in on Christmas to take care of the roads.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys. It was, hey, it was a white Christmas, but somebody ended up with the short end of the stick. So, but it was very much appreciated, you guys.
It was much more than called for. 0 to an inch, I think, was called.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. They were on the wrong side of that. You guys did a great job, though. Residents were happy.
Thanks.
And it looked lovely for us. So to Andy's point, we were spoiled.
Didn't mind.
Okay. Fire and EMS.
We have our report from City of Worthington for December, and they had 9 runs in the township. This new program does not break down the streets or where the runs were, so I can't really tell you that. I just can tell you that there were 9 EMS runs, actually 8 EMS runs and 1 smoke run.
So,
Hey.
Chief, go ahead.
Go ahead, Chet.
So I'm sorry, help me understand this new program. What does it provide? Chief?
It provides a date, a time, a basic incident number, and a basic incident type. It's kind of vague. I mean, it's either these are our choices here this month, Chet. Medical assist, assist EMS crew, EMS call, excluding vehicle accident with injury, and smoke scare, odor of smoke. So those are the 3 categories that they responded to. And of those 8, there's an intermixing of 3 EMS calls, excluding vehicle accidents. And there are 4 medical assists and 1 smoke run.
Is this new, Chief, or is this?
Yeah, they've gone to a new program over there, and I just got this afternoon. I will put a call in to Captain, or else Deputy Chief Craig now, and ask for some clarification on where the runs are going. And I don't know if they can provide that through this program or not, but I'll find out and have an answer for you in the next meeting.
Thank you, Chief.
Anything else under fire and EMS?
No report from Upper Arlington tonight, so that's it.
Okay. You're up.
First, I would like to let the board know that our officers voted for their Officers of the Year this year. Marcus Miller was selected as the full-time Officer of the Year, and Andrew Wood was selected by his peers as the part-time Officer of the Year. Obviously, because of the Zoom meeting, neither of them are here. Andrew Wood is actually covering the street for us tonight, helping out with some personnel shortages. So we have their certificates and things ready to go, and we will try to put together someday in the near future to do a presentation. Again, with COVID, that will probably be somewhat limited in attendance, but I wanted to recognize them tonight at the public meeting. Those are our 2 Officers of the Year for 2020. Next up, we have 2 of our full-time officers that have tested positive for COVID. It has been a trying year trying to keep police department staffed. These are the first 2 officers that have been positive, but we have had multiple scenarios in which our folks have had to quarantine because somebody in their family has come down with the virus. With that being said, I really believe we are in a situation where we are going to have to add some personnel to the police department. We need at least another full-time officer to help us bridge these gaps where we have people. I can tell you the thing I have learned in my 5 years here is that we always have somebody off. Somebody is either sick or hurt or their children are sick, but we are never at full staff. And our authorized strength right now is 11. I am going to ask the board tonight to authorize another full-time position to bring our authorized strength to 12 full-time officers.
So, Chief, just how does that work in terms of like the different, the times? You've got the first, second, and third shift. Is that going to be just a rotating, or are you going to increase a person on one of the shifts?
Our intention with this position, Andy, would be to create a mid-watch shift where that officer would come in on a 5-day schedule and work from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m., probably our busiest 8-hour period. During the day hours, when things get busy for the road guys, there's always myself and Lieutenant Cicero that can go out on a street and assist. So we have extra personnel to assist the day shift guys. It really becomes challenging in those afternoon and late night hours into the early morning. By 4 in the morning, things kind of settle down and people are, even the bad guys get sleepy by 4. So they go home and go to bed. But we would use him, like in this situation we have right now, we would rotate them out of that mid-watch position and backfill an opening we have. For example, right now, one of our shortages is on third shift, and that's the challenge. My part-time guys all have full-time real jobs. So they don't come in and work third shift when we have an opening. They don't come in and work day shift when we have an opening. And day shift, again, is okay. We manage that. But that gap that we run into on that afternoon shift or that third shift becomes problematic. So I don't know if I'm explaining that well enough to you, Andy, but on a regular day-to-day basis, that officer right now would be used in a position to backfill or to add extra patrol between 6 p.m. and 4 a.m. When there's a vacancy because of illness, we would then backfill that slot with that officer.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That answers my question.
So Chief, I know I want to hear what Mr. Roper has to say too, but how hypothetically the board approves your request and we go through the process of finding an officer, going through an interview process and a selection process. What timeline are we looking at? Obviously, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but how quickly can this process be moved along, I guess?
We can't do it tomorrow, Chet, but we'll have it done by Thursday. We continue to use National Testing Network as our testing platform. We currently have a list of 54 officers. Out of that 54, we pulled a list of the top 10 and kind of worked through those today. If the board chooses to approve this hire, we would start the process tomorrow, reaching out, setting up interviews, hopefully have interviews set up by the end of the week, make a selection, and then start the background process, which probably take another 2 weeks. Got to do the physical, the psychological, the polygraph, and those types of things. So in all reality, we're probably 5 to 6 weeks out from having them hired and on the road.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've talked to the chief about this for a while, and we went over obviously the scheduling issues, and I trust the chief's judgment on this. We've got some CARES money, obviously, that will certainly help cover this for a while. We've been spending that on non-personnel stuff. And like the chief said, the most important part, I think, of our police department is the personnel. So after discussion and the rationale and the reasons, so on and so forth, I've told him I'd be on board with this.
You know, I think, Chief, this had been part of many discussions when we're talking about taking on extra areas, like down on Riverside and potentially over in Brookside and some other areas. At some point, you were going to need additional staff. This just kind of moves the time clock up a little bit.
Yeah, and Chet, you're absolutely right. As we continue through this process with EPCON and Romanelli and Hughes, and then the process at Brookside, we will not need to add some personnel. And our long-term goal, we currently run 2 different districts throughout the township. We have District 1, which encompasses Worthington Hills, the north end of Sawmill, and parts of Bethel, or I'm sorry, not Bethel, but so bad to be old sometimes, guys.
That's okay. You have 2 districts operating.
Yeah, we have
That
2
other
districts.
area over there.
And the problem, and then you have District 2, which encompasses Brookside and 33 and Henderson Heights, and it creates challenges with 2 districts to have people respond to calls on 33 and then end up back over in Brookside. Or if you have a domestic in the hills and you got to bring a guy from Arlington Point up to the hills, it's a challenge to do those things in a timely manner and provide the service to our residents that they expect and that they need. Eventually, I think ideally you divide our township into 3 districts. You have an officer working the hills, an officer basically working the Brookside area, an officer working that far west side of the township. And the response then becomes much greater, much quicker. And I think we provide a much better service to our residents. But again, that's all, I think, part of the future. And a lot of that will be determined by where we go with the de-annexation processes and with the construction that's happening. But right now we do have an immediate need. And I think we have to fill that to provide the level of service our residents expect and deserve.
So Chief, let me just, so what happens if something happens with this annexation process that it doesn't go through and we don't have the additional areas to patrol? Does that change?
It may change, Andy, the need to add additional personnel in the future. I think we still need to add another person. If we stayed right where we're at, we have struggled for the last 4 years to get our part-time people to help us in a way that we really need. I mean, again, I'm not complaining because I like working the street, but there are many days I've had to cover shifts on a street, which takes me away from doing my primary job. And we at some point, this overlap shift really gives us an opportunity to provide more patrol. It gives us an opportunity to not have to rely so heavily on our part-time guys to fill shifts when they come up, and they will come up. I mean, when you have an agency with officers that have young children, there will be sicknesses and situations where those officers simply are going to have to miss work to help care for their children. You're always going to have somebody that either gets hurt. I mean, I go back to this past year, and Sergeant Contle broke his ankle. He was out for, I don't know, 9 weeks. So when you lose that officer for that time frame, those shifts become very difficult to fill. So whether we get this de-annexation through or not, Andy, I think this one officer is necessary, and I think it is beneficial to the community and to the police department as a whole and the service we're able to provide.
Okay, thanks, Chief. So we don't have to officially, we're just talking tonight, right? We'll wait to see what candidates you ultimately want to hire, and then we go.
Well, I think, Andy, tonight the board would have to approve the position. We would have to add an additional position, and I think that really takes an action of the board. You create that position. That doesn't mean we're going to hire them tonight. Once we determine who that candidate is, I would bring that individual back to the board and ask for your approval to hire them. But
okay.
I think that's how it works. And
Yeah,
You're right.
It is, Chief. I think we need to set the stage, give you the authority to move forward, and then do what you need to do in the selection process, ultimately bringing it to the board at that point.
yeah.
Okay.
You comfortable with that, Andy?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with everything. I just wanted to make
Okay.
sure that we have it. Jim, do
Hey,
you want?
Chief, I'm sorry, before we do that, are there any related expenditures or anything that you need approval for that we need to anticipate with the new hire?
No, short of uniforms. I mean, we have additional sidearms, we have additional radios. We have the equipment necessary to outfit an officer. What we don't have is uniforms because we don't know their size.
Sure. Okay. All right.
But short of that, I think we would be fine. Certainly the addition of the additional COVID car is going to be a plus. And so the board knows that car is up and running and on the street. So we're utilizing it, and it's been a great help in helping us isolate vehicles to be sanitized while we keep other vehicles in service. So that's working out just the way we planned and had hoped.
Okay. Jim, do you want to make that motion?
So I move that we create a 12th full-time police officer position.
Second,
Vote. Yes.
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 Chief, see if you can hit that Thursday target.
We'll work on that tomorrow, Chad.
Okay, thank you.
Down to the development director, Joe, you got anything? You're on mute. You're on mute, Joe.
Sorry about that. Nothing more than what was spoken about earlier. We're really waiting on, see where these detachment and agreements and the memorandum of understanding go. And then the heavy lifting will start. Continue to work on some side items with the township administrator, et cetera. So that's about it.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Beth.
Thank you. Under old business, I don't have any updates on the 161 or motion to intervene. Michelle, do you have anything else underneath the development?
On Elmwood, no, nothing new.
The CARES Act piece to it, the spending has been extended to December 31st, 2021. The deadline had originally been December 31st, 2020. So that gives us a little extra time so far as where to spend those funds on COVID-related items. There is a reporting that's going to be coming up here within the next few days, which Mary's handling that and doing a wonderful job, by the way. That is really all I have, except I'm going to be requesting an executive session to discuss public employee matters.
Okay. Chet, you got?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, as I know that the chief made his announcement earlier about officers of the year. It's been 2020 has been a rough year. And I want to thank staff for kind of keeping us on track, because things, if they don't keep us on track, to be honest with you, things would kind of get lost in the shuffle of everything going on. There was a recommendation made for Employee of the Year from the administrative side of things, the non-police side of the house. And it was pretty clear in the nomination as it was outlined in regards to its recommendation that Beth Beatty would be our Employee of the Year for 2020. Beth, you've done a super job. We appreciate you kind of keeping us on track and providing the leadership and the dedication to the township. So I think we have it's a little bit difficult doing this virtually, but we have a card for you. And in tradition, we have something in the card. So we'll also get your name on a plaque. But the Board of Trustees really do appreciate all that you do throughout the year. I can't say that we thank you enough. So thank you. And I'll let the other two board members speak to that as well, because they were all on board on that recommendation as well.
Jim?
I can't add much more than what Chet said. In my mind, this was a no-brainer this year. Like Chet said, 2020 was a difficult year, created a lot of logistical challenges, and you were the clear leader in getting us through those. So just really, really appreciate all you've done this year, and thanks for making 2020 a tolerable year in a very difficult circumstance.
Yeah, Beth, I would say that leadership is where I would because everything from navigating just these meetings, Zoom meetings, and then also working through the whole annexation and the paperwork, the looking at tax documents, the calls, to be honest with you, I don't know. I honestly don't know how you keep it all together. So again, 2020 threw a major curveball at the township, and we weathered the storm because of you. So we really appreciate it, and well deserving.
Thank you all very much. I really appreciate it.
And Mr. Chairman, I have just two more quick things, if I can. They're administrative in nature. First of all, the County Township Association has sent out an invite today about COVID. The distribution of the vaccine. And the county health department Commissioner Mazzola is going to be the person that has requested to give an update on that distribution plan and the strategy moving forward. It did go to all trustees, administrators, fiscal officers, police chiefs, and fire chiefs. And there have been some concerns specifically from fire chiefs regarding the distribution strategy of it. So that's going to be Wednesday evening at 7:00. And I think everybody on this call hopefully received that invite. If not, let me know. And then the last thing is I had asked Chief Petrosi to let me see the interior of a building that is by the salt barn. And I'd like to be able to direct, if the board's in agreement with this, to have that building cleaned out at the earliest convenience. It may take a couple of dumpsters. I don't know, Beth, if that's under your purview to pay for dumpsters or not, but it would be great to have that building cleaned out.
Okay.
Good things to get done here this winter.
Okay. And I know that, Andy, I think you and Joe and Beth are going to be looking at building 2. I think you can probably use that building if it is deemed that it is, you'll have to look at it, obviously. If it ultimately it is deemed structurally acceptable, that you can at least use that building for at least 2 cruisers. I never understood growing up on a farm why farmers leave their equipment outside in the weather. So if we have room for our cruisers to be out of the weather, that would be fantastic.
Hey, one question as we're talking about that, and this is kind of follow up to our call that we had with Mark L. What can we set up time to walk or to go through building 2? Chief, I know that you had kind of put a diagram together based on that, but can we set up some time, obviously knowing that just to kind of go through that building ourselves and kind of talk a little more about, just follow up on that conversation that we had.
Andy, on the, you weren't part of it, but on the call this morning with Beth and Chet, I asked Beth to try to set that up. I know Chief is, I believe, taking a little bit of vacation here and there, but I thought it was important prior to that for at least us to walk through and look at the structural integrity, et cetera, of the building, get an idea of what we're dealing with. Then when the chief gets back, or if he's available, then we can go through it with finer tooth and figure out next steps.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Andy, we'll make ourselves available. If I'm not here, certainly Lieutenant Cicero can assist in that process as well. He's pretty intimately been involved in this whole process, so he should be able to help if I'm not here.
Okay.
I'll throw out some dates and times tomorrow, Andy, and see what's going to work for everyone. Okay.
Yeah. Friday afternoons work great, except for this Friday. So.
All right.
Okay, Michelle,
Request a motion for approval of the temporary appropriations budget for 2021.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Vote? Yes.
Yes.
Request a motion for approval of payroll and disbursements.
I'll also make that motion.
Second?
Vote? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I am going to motion that we enter into executive session to, hold on a second. Gotta make sure I have the right wording on this. I move to enter into executive session to consider the dismissal of a public employee by roll call vote.
Mr. English,
Yes.
Mr. Roper,
Yes.
Mr. Cheney,
Yes.
Okay, and then Beth, we're on the other invite.
Yes, and just as a reminder, it might take me a little bit to get there because I have to close out this stream first, okay?
But we're coming back. We gotta come back. Are we coming back to this?
Yeah, we'll
to
be
this-
coming back to it, but I still have to close it out and
All right,
then,
got it.
That's a separate, hey Beth, that's a separate Zoom link to that next meeting, right?
right, it says executive session on it.
I can't get that out of my trash for some reason. Could you send me a new link to my Gmail address?
Yeah, let me go ahead
Thanks.
and close this out and I'll take care of it.
All right, sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you.
We'll see everybody on the next call. Thanks, Chief.
Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, Ian.